Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome to the School of Science. My name is Luke and this is the Everton Stadium update for the 1st of September 2024. Happy first day of the month. So yeah, looking over the ground today, there's a few things I want to sort of have a little look at and point out. So one of the ones that sort of stands out almost immediately. So looking over the stadium itself, I've actually had a little gander at the renders again. So I understand that the renders are going to be different from what the final product is, especially the most recent render that they've actually done the virtual fly-through with. That being 3 years ago, so before we'd essentially filled in the dock at that point. But it's something that I've sort of had a look at, and I've noticed that there's a few differences that we can see. So one of the ones being at the very back of the west stands that we'll talk about later. And just a couple of little bits around the south stand as well. But right now, everything's looking rather nice. We can actually see that they're starting a little bit of work on the trim for the turnstile areas, especially around the east stand, as well as they're doing a little bit of work on the doors as well for where the centre is, where the superstore is going to be. Now, I'd love to hear your guys' suggestions in the comments below for what the superstore should be called. I think Everton by the Sea, or Everton by the Mersey, maybe. It's a tough one, just because you've got Everton 1 by Goodison, you've got Everton 2 in the Liverpool 1 area. Yes, we all know the joke of Everton 2 in Liverpool 1. But I think something, or Everton on the docks, something like that. I think that'd be a great little name for the stadium itself. Either that or the Bramley Moor Superstore. That actually got a good ring to it. We'll pin that one actually. But yeah. So yeah, around the turnstiles and everything like that. So they're starting to get the trim work around there. I do apologise for not getting a nice little close-up of those. I'm going to look at trying to do that next week. So you know what I'm like. I like to go with my nice little steady flow of all these. But I think what I might have to look at doing is trying to, how can I put this nicely? Just trying to focus on smaller details rather than doing these sorts of fly-throughs. What I could do in essence sense is do like a simple pan around the actual stadium itself, get all the 4 areas of it, the 4 stands in a nice single video, and then areas of interest, I'll have like a closer video and we'll sort of cut into it. Something along those lines, you know? But overall, looking over the fan plaza right now, I've sort of just rambled on a bit. But the main thing is, pretty much we're coming close to finishing the second stage now. So all of the first stage we can see on one side, and the second stage being the one closest to the stadium. So they're now sort of slowly branching out by where the final turnstiles are in the southeast corner. Now, one thing to note as well, very quickly, before we actually pan over to the south stand, I'll probably point it out in the south stand, but I'll point it out here as well. So if you look very carefully here, I do actually zoom in, you can see that there's a bit more framing now where the southeast corner here, where the windows are. So what's going to happen is there's going to be some solid facade that's going to be going on them in the near future. It's going to be very similar to the trim that you can see at the very bottom of the windows there. And it's going to probably go on in the coming weeks, just for the fact they've got the frame and everything on. Also, as another side note, in the southeast corner, I didn't know this. Someone probably has told me in the comments, and it's probably just went right past me. In that southeast corner there, that's the box office. So anyone who still likes having that physical ticket, it's over there. It's in that southeast corner, so that's where you'd be going if you were to get your ticket. So if anyone knows where the ticket office is now at Everton, so I think it's around the main stand area, if I'm not mistaken. So where the main stand is, around there, it's down there. I'm bad with the stands, I'm sorry. This is the bad thing. I've been around all the stands and I still get them all confused. But yeah, so we can see again, south stands down there. You can actually see the turnstiles there. So the nice full body turnstiles, nice and modern and everything. And the trim and all that coming onto them. And there's a little bit of work still going on inside, around by where the seating area is. So I'm assuming a lot of the stuff there is more just shoring up and everything, and just making sure before they do the capacity test and everything like that, that's all nice, safe and sound. Now, I'm looking at the render now, and I'm actually on the south stand where the render is, and on here. So where the southwest corner is there. So it should be a set of trees there, And then away by here, there should be a set of white... I can't even explain what they look like. They're meant to be... They look like flags in a way, but the way they've got them is too standard. But I can't see anything there in terms of infrastructure for them to get put in place. Actually, I think where the lights are, they're set there. I see them. So very close to where the waterway is. You can actually see them there. So I'm assuming they're all going to still be doing them. So it's like these big white stand pieces. They're very strange. They don't really serve too much apart from looking pretty, in my opinion. And to be honest, I would say without them, it wouldn't be missed too much. It would be something that would be kind of overlooked and no one would really bat an eyelid to. But yeah, going over now, over to the west stand. And I'll point this out very quickly before we zoom in. You can actually see... the other corner, it hasn't got its framing on yet, but I would expect that to be going on soon. Also, as another side note as well, so where the west stand is, if you ever look at the render, there's meant to be a massive sort of like almost like a sunroof hole around here where the top of the stairs is, and you'd have benches around it. This looks like it's been scrapped. Also, you can actually see the benches there, so they are actually putting benches in at the top here, so... that would be a really nice view. So if you ever work around the city and you've got enough time to get down to the stadium for your lunch, on a nice day, you could actually have your sandwich on that bench looking over into the Mersey. And I think that would actually be a killer little view. But you can see that the lights are also fixed in place now. So a lot of the lights are, well, most of the lights are pretty much in place. Sorry, I do seem to zoom in twice here. I'm trying to do the zoom from the drone. Just any areas of interest while I'm there. Because I have almost got a guarantee I will fly around an area, I'll go, oh, that's interesting, I'll go to that later. And there's a good chance I'll probably miss it when it comes down to it. Especially when I'm editing here, it would probably get missed in the edit. So I'm doing it on the fly, no pun intended. But overall, everything is looking rather nice. Again, there's bits I probably have missed in this, but... I'll probably point them out. Actually, I can point this one out here. So there is actually meant to be cladding that's going to be going on the main entrance to the west stand. So where you can see the west stands, not essentially the stadium's roof, but the drop down. There is meant to be cladding going onto there, just like a protective cladding. And overall, the ditch work that they're doing right now to get the waterway opened up again, that is pretty close to being done now. So they've only got probably say less than a quarter of it to do. So I'm hoping before winter kicks in, we'll actually see that being nicely opened up, and it would actually be a nice water. There'll be a good water flow, so it's going to actually have a bit of a distinguished gap between the stadium itself and the car park area. Also, very quickly, if you want to know about car parking or anything like that, go check out Mr. Drone UK. He's actually done a video recently talking about the away parking as well as some other little bits and everything. And he goes into great detail about it. I'm really happy that he's done that because it was one that I was going to miss. Now, as we're going over it as well, I will zoom in here. If anyone knows exactly what this little fella is, so you can see like a little pipe sticking out of the sand itself. If anyone knows what that is, it seems to be wired up to something here. It looks... I don't know what it exactly is because it looks like a generator on one of them, and you can see another one on the side there. So if anyone can actually tell me exactly what that is, I would greatly appreciate that. But yeah, going over to the north stand now. So, looking over the north stand, the main things of note right now is the cladding's been getting done. So, where the windows meet the bow cladding, you can actually see there's like a little bit of a curve point. So they've been very busy at them, getting them all sorted. I'll be brutally honest, the north stand is my biggest weak point, I'll be perfectly honest. It's one that has completely flown me by. I know there's probably been developments coming along, and to be honest, it's probably stuff that I've completely missed out on, and apologies on that one. It's just more down to the fact it's not that I'm not interested in the north stand, it's stuff that will fly me by, it will pass me by. Also, I'm being very careful not to end up getting me drone knocked out of the air. So I believe Craig TV, he was actually flying over last week, and his drone was taken out of the sky by a very aggressive seagull. It sounds funny, but I am devastated for the poor lads because it's one of the hazards that we have flying around this area, especially with it being a coastal area. But yeah, looking over it right now, the stadium is looking really nice. It's doing a lot better than what the team's doing at the moment. I mean, we all know what happened yesterday, and it is very disappointing to even think about it. But going over everything right now, it is really nice to see the developments happening the way it is. I've just noticed there's a little bit of an area there just underneath the roof. I'll have to go on to that one next week. But yeah, looking inside the inner bowl itself, it's great to see there's a... I'm not sure whether that's sand or it's actually the top that's been laid out. Something's been laid out over where the pitch area is. And it's been outlined. So you can see it is the outline of the pitch itself. So we know that this is where the action area is for anything in regards to undersoil heating, which we'll be talking about in a second, because I've got a feeling they've actually got the undersoil heating preparation on the way right now, as well as the sprinkler system and any other modern technology that they can actually put into the pitch to make this one of the most technically advanced stadiums on the planet at its time. But yeah, on top of that as well, just looking over inside and trying to sort of see these seats and everything. So on the south, yeah, that is actually the south stand. Sorry, I was about to say the north stand. So yeah, the south stand down there, you can see there's actually disabled access as well. This is something that's very important because myself, I actually take my granddad to the game now. We've had to start taking him in his wheelchair, unfortunately, because his mobility has pretty much taken a complete nosedive. He can't walk from where we park our car to the stadium anymore, and it's really sad. So we are having to take him into the into the stadium via a wheelchair. And the great thing is the stewards and everyone like that are so supportive and helping us getting them to his seats and whatnot. But yeah, I'll talk about this very quickly while it's on my mind. So you can actually see there, so these thin blue wires. I'm gonna make a very, very safe guess and say these aren't actually the undersoil heating. Just looking at the way the sort of lines out and everything, and looking at the wiring itself, that it screams that it is the undersoil heating. So what it would essentially be is probably copper wiring inside of there, and what they would do is they would actually heat that up when we've got a frosty day or anything like that. Or let's say it's a match day and it is actually a cold ground and the ground actually feels frosty. That would be activated more likely probably the day before a game, or even on the very morning of a game, to try and defrost the ground itself. And from there you'd obviously have the drainage pushing it all out, and we'd have ourselves a nice dry, nice soft pitch to work off. Hopefully not too soft where they're sliding around on the pitch. But it's really nice to see that sort of development, and it's great that we're progressing the way we are in regards to the stadium. I'm just hoping things after the international break we can sort of we can sort something out, because the performance yesterday was just abysmal. It's not Everton-like to do that. But in any case, guys, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. Have a lovely one, and I'm going to see you all in the next video. Take care, and up the fucking toffees.